you introduce our guest, I got you a present. What is this? Oh, they're keto cookies, which I know nobody wants the keto, but yeah, they are. Oh, they have college in them too. Nice. That's for you. Okay, remember high key, low key?
So no carbs, and it will help with my wrinkles.
And it's
your
funny.
hair.
And it's a funny joke.
And what's so funny about it?
Remember we couldn't figure out low key and high key?
Right, I still can't.
Okay, so low key is like the compliment that you don't really want to give, right? Like a teen daughter doesn't necessarily want to be like, Mom, you look so good. But they would be like, low key, you're a MILF. Because they don't really want to say that, but it's still a compliment. So low key, like, shh, don't tell anybody, but you're a MILF. High key is like...
So your kids call you a MILF?
Oh my God, where have you been?
I have a story on
We have an entire episode about the MILF thing.
I know. I know what it is, but I didn't know your children called you a MILF.
Well, the oldest, yeah. She's like, Mom, low key, I mean, you're a MILF. We talked about this.
I know. Okay. I don't know.
They also help with brain fog.
Well, then I need to pop one of those right now because I'm like, what is it?
I thought it was really funny. High key. Because high key, you got a high key compliment the other day, right? It's like a very honest one.
okay.
Right?
I didn't know quite. I mean, I believe you. I know the low key part. I think she was trying to teach me what high key meant.
I mean, it just means a cookie, I think. Okay. Anyway, special guest.
I like that. Okay, so Nikki Wright is with us today. So
Valentine winner.
she won, right. We pulled her topic when we did the Valentine's Day Instagram giveaway.
Yeah. Facebook.
So I hope you
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Again,
I
the
hope
brain
you enjoyed
fog.
your wine.
I did.
Yeah, Usual Wines is one of our good friends. So we like to work with them, and they like to give us wine, and we like to share the love.
I kept containers for like little flowers.
The little beakers.
Yeah,
they're so cute.
They're
Yeah.
just so cute.
And like I always thought that like sugar-free wine would taste bad.
I didn't even know it was sugar-free.
I know, right?
See?
I literally didn't. Like,
See?
This is news to me right now.
That's why I
did
like
not know.
because I don't like,
Even the champagne one was super good.
No, they have no sugar.
Okay, I'm
So they're
impressed.
magical.
They're magical. So we always talk about how, we have, combination of 8 kids and whatever. And then you just like waltz in here like, well,
All bright-faced.
all bright faced,
with
like
8 of your
yeah,
own.
you
Wait.
guys both have 8 kids. I have 8 kids myself. Like, fuck you
Ouch,
guys.
Look at that karma. I flipped her off and hit my elbow.
See how that worked. So 8 kids just by you.
Yeah.
And I mean, your husband too, I guess. And sort of, right?
Well,
But I mean, you mother 8.
no. Well, and it's people do ask. They're like, a lot of times people think we have like a blended family or something.
Right,
Like, no,
right.
we've just been married forever and had all the babies.
Yeah.
Had all the babies, yeah.
And so, like,
Yeah.
between the 3 of us, we have 16
kids.
children.
Yeah.
Is that a
that's impressive.
sitcom?
That's a shit show.
That's a reality
And
show.
then
That's
some.
Are
we calling
should
it like
pitch this to
16 and
TLC.
Stone?
Yeah.
16 and stoned? Are we calling it that?
Well, only if you
Because
were the
I
star.
would walk around with my pacifier all day long.
We could call it that if you were the main character.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so 16 kids between all of us. So that's a lot of content to talk about today.
Yeah.
Then, if we're gonna. I know we're
Sounds
not
like
gonna,
a lot of estrogen too. 'Cause
Well,
you have all girls, right?
yeah.
And you
so-
have one.
I only have one girl. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank God.
And you have how many?
5.
5 girls.
Yeah.
Okay. You
Four.
win. You win.
Yeah. You win.
She wins.
We should just start off with this as
mean,
we say Nikki
talk
got
about the
here out of her
estrogen.
house today.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
With that
difficult.
size of a family, drive out here.
The fact that you even open a door is beyond me. I don't know.
cheers, and then we
Cheers.
tap.
Okay.
Yes, and
It's just for
and then we try.
good spirits in the spirits.
she thinks it gets rid of the bad spirits.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen that. I just
We just
By you guys.
We just do it. We just
And
Yeah.
also, you do marathons?
no.
No.
I do ultra marathon.
Ultra marathons.
get
I've
it
never run
right,
a marathon.
Dodson.
I have never run a marathon. I jumped from like a half to a 50K.
So she's
Okay,
like,
so
I don't
if
do
I
the
had-
26, I do the 100. You dumbass.
I mean, I would run too if I
You
had
guys could both do it.
5 girls. I would run. Run.
That's
that
why
why
And
you
I would
started
ultra
running?
run.
I started running
I
because
would run 100 miles if I had 8 kids.
we had tons of kids. We had no money, and I needed to exercise, and I tell people all the time, I have no idea how far I go. I go until I feel like I can turn around.
Oh
and
my
run back
God,
home.
you're the blonde female Forrest Gump.
Kind of.
Oh my God. Just start running.
Well, I just until my brain is like, it's like it was mental health. It was like to get away from my kids, and when I felt like I wanted to see them again, I would turn around and go home.
Oh my God. Stomp the concrete until then.
But you're so inspiring too, because I see like your beautiful trail runs, and I mean, I've always liked running too. I don't do 100
Yeah,
miles,
I did the
but-
Naperville half when I was 39. And
Well, I did that the same day you did. 'Cause I
Okay.
saw you there.
And were you
Yes.
like pregnant and nursing?
No, I had all my babies.
Okay.
But I ran with my sister, who is fast, and she beat me by like 17 minutes. And I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm going to try something different.
I remember you were pissed that Vicky. That
I wasn't
Vicky
mad,
would-
but there's like no way I could even be competitive with her. She blew. I mean, she's great at running. She's a great runner. She did the Chicago Marathon like pre-COVID, and it was awesome. But you don't want to always lose to your twin. So
Yeah, Vicky is her twin sister.
yeah.
Vicky and Nikki.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
tried
God.
getting her to come here. She
Victoria
didn't
and
work.
Nicole.
Oh, that's better. Okay.
My name is not Nicole.
I mean,
I've almost
I
changed my name.
I walk a
to Nikki because I'm
17
so not Nicole.
minute mile, and I'm pretty proud of that.
You're a what minute
I
mile?
walk a 17-minute mile.
Well, ultra running then is for you because there's a lot of walking when you're doing ultras.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's nice. And trails, I love trails because you walk the hills. I mean, it's a different kind of like community. It's not super competitive. Everyone's friendly. It's very like we're in this together type thing.
Yeah.
And it's
or a little
it's
more
fun.
kumbaya than
Yeah.
competition.
It's a little more raw. There's a lot of swearing.
Well, so we would
Does she
enjoy
go?
it.
Yeah.
Does beautiful daughter go with
She
you?
volunteers with me when I volunteer
cute.
for
Good.
things. So yeah, and she likes it. I think if she's busy.
Okay.
So did you think of a WTF, or do you just want to like make fun of ours?
I think my WTF is going to be more about what the show is about, so I'm going to save that and let you guys do yours.
All right, right
Oh,
on.
okay. Cool.
Briggs.
Well, my WTF is just piggybacking off of our last episode that we released last week or 2 weeks ago. It was
driving?
It was called Teens and Wheels, and we
Yeah.
talked about, just when our kids are learning to drive and all the shit that comes with that territory, right? So we released that episode, published it. It went live out in the podcast world, right? 15 minutes later, 15 minutes later, my son got in his first car accident.
Oh no.
After that, I mean, he's fine. and
Normal fender bender, like not hurt at all,
he-
right?
no.
Is it your youngest son's driving now?
No. He's
Okay.
one of he's one of the twins.
One of the twins. Okay.
So, and they're going to be 17, but their driving got pushed way back
of
during
COVID.
COVID
Yeah.
because the driving schools were closed, and
Right.
they couldn't do the classroom part of it. And
Was he stressed?
Well, so my husband has a gigantic truck, right? Mm-hmm. And he had my son Chase like out running a bunch of errands for him and taking his truck to get washed and everything.
Oh, nice.
And
Pump
so
the
that's what
gas.
you can do now when you have drivers. You're like,
Well,
oh, can you go do this?
I know, I'm
like
like,
that.
yeah.
Can you go to
Could
the
you get
store?
your license, please?
Right.
Go.
Like if you've had a couple drinks at night and your kid's like, can you pick me up at midnight? And you're like, no, I can't.
No, other way around.
Actually-
we get to call them, right? And be like,
Right.
Could you pick me up?
Right.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. I've always thought
Say
I'd
it
have a
works that way.
designated driver.
Come on.
They don't. They
Well,
won't. You maybe did
That's
twice.
on you. That's on you, Faith. Pick
pick
your mother
Your
up.
mom, Faith.
Pick your mother up.
I did 2 weeks ago. She went to a party. I picked her up.
Okay.
I mean, it was just down the street, but
Okay, she has occasionally, but
Yeah.
Okay, good
She,
girl.
she,
good girl.
Yeah, I guess last minute, but never planned. You
Right.
can't say, "Hey, will you be the designated driver?" They'll be like, "No, Mom, I'm busy."
Last minute, right. Well,
Right.
they don't plan anything. They don't plan anything.
Yeah. Well,
So I thought that was a huge what the fuck.
Well, of course,
Like we
the second
just
that you
released
say
this
it.
episode
Yeah.
about how stressful it like I found that to be one of the most stressful things when I having teenagers is when they're learning how to drive.
Oh, it's terrifying.
And
yeah, and you
especially,
have
like,
to tell me
when
2
you're
at a
the-
time.
when you're in the passenger seat and they're like I mean, I
can't watch.
I have a couple of like really like conscientious responsible drivers, right? But then I have a couple that are not. Mm-hmm. Like I said in that episode, that that Life 360.
I know Olivia
She
has
pulls
arrived
into
with a top
she arrived
speed.
at school at top speed, 92 miles an hour, and I'm
Yeah,
like, oh my god! And I'm like, you no longer have a car,
Right.
But yeah, 15 minutes after we released that episode, I get the call that he was in an accident, and in my husband's truck too.
Oops.
So
Well, at least it's a huge truck. He was okay.
he was okay. The other person was okay, but it's still a pain in the ass. It's a tons of damage on
Yeah.
the car.
It was
And
a
was it
bad
scary
accident.
for him? Was
And
he
it
stressed
was
out?
like he was very stressed out.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, because
he
you don't
was
ever know how the
shaken.
other person's going to react, and
Right. And literally just that morning, his insurance card got sent to me. And I'm like, put this in your glove compartment. And if you ever get into a car accident, you always 100% of the time call the police. You never, like if someone
Right.
says, oh, everything's fine, here's my insurance, like we don't need to call the cops, we'll just like handle it on our own. Absolutely not. You know, and then later on he got in a car accident. I'm like,
So did he call?
Of course.
Oh, good. Well, I'm curious as to whether or not your direction was obeyed.
It's just ironic that
Yeah.
that
You feel like you jinxed it.
I should
A little
this
bit.
This is the part of me where sometimes like you just don't say anything. Like
Right.
just don't say it and it won't
And
happen.
it won't
Right.
ever
Right?
happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that was mine. Not too funny. It was just like one
The
of those
timing.
moments where I got
the
off the phone and
ironic
I was like,
timing.
what the fuck?
Right. You're
Yeah.
like, of course.
Yeah, the timing. Yeah, exactly. All right, what's yours? I'm sure yours is
Well, I've been so blessed lately to have a few. Do you want the Karen culture gone wild at Target? Do you want the fake baby drama from the human growth and development class? Or do you want the marijuana in the backyard?
they all sound amazing.
They all sound pretty good, yeah.
What's this fake baby thing?
Yeah, that sounds good.
That'll be a good one. Okay, it's not my thing to share because none of my kids have any interest that are old enough in taking the human growth and development class because there's
Okay.
so many kids in the house that they're like, ew, we hate kids. Why would we learn about kids?
Why do
Right.
they call it human growth? I mean, what other...
Well, I don't, because it's about like how babies grow. And I don't
Is
know.
it the class? The
class.
at the high school?
wouldn't it be
Oh.
called like child development or just human growth
Oh.
sounds very like,
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, sorry.
'Cause they're
I
weird.
don't, I don't like
different.
the title of that either.
It's an
what
odd,
happened
it's a
to
very,
child development?
it's a very biological term.
Yeah, I
instead
think
of
so.
Well,
like
but I think it's
more
meant
of a
to be.
psycholo- or
I
like
think
a-
this is one little realistic segment of a greater course that has more to do with
Okay.
anatomy. Whatever,
Gotcha.
who cares? I don't
Makes sense.
actually give one fuck about the class, but except for this funny part.
Okay.
So you know our friend Kayleen?
Yes.
Okay, so I was at coffee with
Hi,
her.
Kayleen.
Right.
Yeah.
She tells me this whole story. Her daughter brings home fake baby. Like the robot babies,
Right,
right?
right.
That you have to like not murder.
Remember, Nikki,
Right.
we had an egg?
We had an egg,
We had an
yeah.
egg.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
So this damn thing, so Kayleen doesn't know that there's an off button. Did you know there's an emergency off switch on those? I mean, I've never even seen one in my life.
I just
didn't
got done
know.
telling you that we had an egg. If the
And-
egg broke on the ground,
That was
I don't ever
then we failed.
want
Like,
one of these babies to
No.
come to my house. I will literally hire someone to be like, this is your
because it
job.
cries and stuff, right?
Okay,
And it,
she said it cried all damn night
no.
to where,
No.
okay, this is where it's weird. Like,
Those days are done.
so her daughter was, who I guess, I don't know how old she is, a sophomore, whatever, but I mean, she needs to get up for school. So she was up until 3 a.m. with this damn thing. Okay, and it's, you can't just throw it on your boob in a bed.
Right.
Right? Because it doesn't even breastfeed.
And it, I mean, if
You-
it did, that would
Well,
be
that would be
weird.
super-
Well,
creepy.
okay, but I'm saying
But
it's
there's really
unreal-
no way
it's
to
unrealistic
take care of it.
because you can't wear the baby. Okay, in real life, you could put the thing on your boob even while you're wearing it, and then still go and like
Right.
take a shit or go to sleep or parent the other kids, whatever you want.
Right.
Not with this thing. It doesn't breastfeed. You can't wear it. You literally
So
have
when
to
it's crying,
do
you can't
things
console it?
to it.
Like what?
You can only console it like you can hold it, but then she got marked down because the baby, it's a robot, like tracking everything that you do,
Mm-hmm.
right? So she got marked down for like mismanaging the head while she was holding it or something.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my God. You have to feed it at a proper angle. So the daughter's like, oh my God, Mom, it's 3 a.m. I can't, please. So Kayleen took over and
kidding.
had that damn thing all night.
Oh my
and then
God.
She's
had
gonna
to
be
go
graded on it. See, I
and
would
then
stick it
had
in
to
the
go to
car and be
work.
done with it.
I would.
She got, that's the other thing. Kayleen's
would
like,
be
you
like-
can't even put it in the car and drive around. Then there's a thing on
They
there.
know- is there like a
where you're
GPS
supposed
tracker?
to, yeah. There's
God.
a box on the rubric that like you get points for not shaking the baby. Are you serious? You have created a robot, GPS, that never stops screaming, that doesn't breastfeed, it doesn't ride in a car, and you can't wear it. You can't sleep next to it. You literally have to be awake, holding it, putting its bottle in its little GPS mouth. And then there's a box that says, "Oh, good job, you didn't shake the fuck out of that thing."
See, I think that rubric is bullshit.
Oh my God.
Because first of all, I think that that's being very like that's only showing one way to care for a child. Like that you have to shove a bottle in its mouth.
I
or
agree.
That I don't think that's sending the right message because everybody parents differently and
I
everybody
agree.
comforts their babies differently.
Well, it sounds like the baby's, like, it seems like it is programmed to be crabby. When all
Right.
babies aren't always crabby. And usually by
Right.
the time you hit that, you are experienced in what you were doing.
I
So
know.
it's like they're setting the kids up to fail.
So really, it's
Well,
just
they're
birth
setting
control.
the kids up to
It's
have
just
like birth control. Right.
That's what it is.
Okay, well.
I mean, and I think it's just really, really formal and itemized birth control.
Well, and I also think, but I think it's also sending the wrong message. Like, these kids are going to be like, I don't ever want to have kids. Fuck that.
Not to act like
Right.
that thing all
Right.
night long.
Right.
Plus, what I said to Kayleen is 90% of the time, this baby was meant to be a newborn. 90% of the time when you have a newborn, you either have leave as a woman.
Right.
1st of all, you don't have to wake up the next morning if you were up all night.
Good point.
Right.
Yes.
Or you most certainly, even if there's not a father figure, there's still somebody in your life.
Right.
It's very rare that a woman has a baby and as a newborn she must get up and go to her thing without any support. Very rare.
Right.
So this is totally absurd.
Yeah.
That's not
It's,
realistic.
No.
right, it's not realistic.
So that was just my...
I don't like that.
And then they're
So she
graded
was...
on it.
And-
So
right, and then they're
Kayleen's
graded on
thing,
it,
so
right.
there's birth control for the teens, right? Because they're like, never. Well, Kayleen's like, oh my God, I don't ever want to be a grandma. I'm like, well, I wouldn't want to be a grandma either if I had to have a screaming thing all night.
No.
Can you imagine?
I don't
because
understand what.
Like
a
in our
grandma.
minds, she was the grandma for the robot baby.
Who was the. Oh.
In our mothering minds, we have these romantic ideals, right, of what it'll be like
It's
when you get to
amazing
just
being a grandma.
be fun and
Nikki's
be
a grandma.
best.
Nikki's a grandma.
It's literally.
Doesn't she look like your
It's-
like 18-year-old
You
grandma?
look exactly like a
It is
grandma.
worth having kids to be a grandma.
Right.
Oh, it's the best.
Okay,
because
so that's
you
let's
have a
just
different
segue.
role. You
It
Go.
is.
To
You
talk
do have
about
a different
it.
role. And I mean, like.
Is it all the fun where you're like sugar, 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 sugar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so the first. So I have a grandson and a granddaughter. And my daughter-in-law, with the first, typical daughter, first baby. You know what I mean? A little more strict.
The parents.
I didn't
Yes.
know Brandon had another baby. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
they just had the one boy.
No.
Oh, so
he's a
you're
little
watching
girl.
them do
She's
that
two.
thing where
She's
they're
so
like
cute.
already two.
She's
strict
two.
with the first one and then relax a little.
Well, and I think Brandy just got used to being a mom more because my
I mean, but
son's
you get
named
to
Brandon
witness
and my
that.
daughter-in-law is named Brandy. Yeah, so being the
Vicky, Nikki,
So it's
Brandon.
I know,
Right,
it's super weird.
exactly.
It's super weird.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was a learning process for everyone. But now Calvin's 4 and Evie's 2, and I did help like with the newborn stuff. I would go over and I would help for hours, but then you get to go home and sleep. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
And now
You get to
it's
be
just the
like-
best. They come running in, they're like Grammy, and they're cute, and they're so
that is so
great.
sweet.
And then I have a lot
Cutest
of
grandma I've ever met in my whole
Thanks.
life.
I have it's fun though. They want to come to my house, not even to see me, because I have all the kids, and the
Right.
kids are.
And I'm sure the
Right.
girls
It's like,
especially.
Calvin just wants to go out and hang out with.
Is
his
this why you don't
aunts.
ever get a damn night off? Because you've got 8 kids and you're a grandma?
That's part of it for sure.
Yeah.
The house never ends. You know what I mean? Like people are up until sometimes 3.
There is no closing
and
hour.
then the twins get up at 6 because they have to be at school
Yeah.
at like 7 something.
Obviously, those 3 hours of sleep are working in your favor, though.
I don't know. I complain about my sleep constantly.
I don't know. You're all bright-eyed to me.
It's makeup.
and bushy-tailed.
Thanks.
It's
Bright-eyed
great
and
makeup.
bushy-tailed.
I wake up and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
She is just like a different breed of a person. Like
I'm
can't.
not because I mean, my daughter's here, so she knows I lose my shit plenty.
Well,
which
that
and
would
I
be the-
totally
that
and
would
I
be-
did. And last week was a bad week.
Nikki, losing your shit.
That has nothing
is
to do with
like
being bright-eyed.
That's the bare minimum
course you
of what's
lose your
going on
shit.
here. Yeah, that's just a given.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, oh my god, you should
right.
be so proud of yourself.
Oh, thanks. Cool.
Yeah,
you
hey,
should.
can we do it to Nikki?
Oh,
I mean, who
thanks.
wouldn't? Cheers to
To
this
Nikki.
amazing,
The-
like, why
the
are you wearing
ultra
a big
could
cape
you-
with an S on it?
Oh, that's cheesy.
It is cheesy, but I'm just saying,
super
like,
mom? She's ultra.
I'm not. I'm ultra. I love it.
okay, she's ultra mom.
Yeah.
Right, because she doesn't run marathons. It's ultra marathons. Right. Oh my gosh. So, but in all reality, like, do you get a night out? Do you get a night to yourself?
Yeah,
Do
and
you
that's-
get...
Because what you said in Valentine contest talk was that you needed a damn night out. That's what we should have given
So it
her.
wasn't a damn night out alone. Because
Oh,
so
well,
I
you
look
didn't
at
specify,
moms with
but-
lots of kids, little kids, and I'm in a completely different zone, and I have been for a long time.
What's your youngest age right now?
She'll be 9 in July.
Oh.
Okay, so you are
So,
at an age
yeah,
where,
and
like, everybody can
Where
help
my
take care of
older
you.
kids too, right? The minute Brandon could start babysitting, your life kind of changes. You know what I mean? Where you can go
Absolutely.
out and do things. You don't have to take them to the store. God, those poor moms at the grocery store with their kids. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I mean, I can
No,
help
I
you
have
if
to
can.
tell you, that is one of the most gratifying things is to be there and not have a
kids.
kid pooping its pants and screaming in the line.
It was
I
a
just
game
look
changer
at
for
them
me.
like
it was a game changer.
Your
I
life
didn't have
completely
2
changes.
carts at Costco anymore.
Yeah.
I just like, and now.
Well, now I have
and now
2
what's
carts,
crazy
but it's because
is
the teenagers
now
loaded up with
that
all
my
their
kids
shit.
are all old enough where I don't have to bring them to the store, and neither do you. Now all these lovely moms have Instacart.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
all the shipped and all the like, I'm like, where the hell was that in the
Yeah,
early
it did.
2000s?
Cheaters.
I know.
Slackers.
Like they'll never know. They'll never know.
So yeah, so I've been out of that like little kid zone for a long time. But my house it's something's always happening. People are, and then because Brandon's married, but they come over all the time. They live close to us. So and I want them to know that like our door's open, you walk in, even Brandy, whoever, open the fridge, see what's there. You know, I've come home many
It's home.
times
It's
to get
home.
a glass of wine, and Scott's like, "Oh no, Brandon and Brandy were here." I'm like, "Good." I want them to feel like it's still their house,
God.
too,
Right, but
you know?
we maybe
But
need to
did
send
you-
this home with you.
I would be like, but then.
But you
like,
can't drink my
I'm-
wine.
I'm
What?
the mom. You need to replenish.
There's
that.
a lot of
Yeah.
people that label things in our house, like Ben especially. He'll get something and he'll be like, "Ben's, I'll kill you if you eat it." I mean,
Well,
like,
right.
Ben, you
Well,
don't
the
need to be
other
that
day,
aggressive.
MK wanted one
Right.
of the croissants, and she's like, "Save that for me." I'm like, "I cannot be responsible for
Right.
saving food for you."
So this is
So she took it
because
to her
it's
room.
scary,
She took
right?
it to her bedroom because it will go away.
Right? Yes,
absolutely
things will
go away.
disappear.
They will
I say that.
disappear.
so
A combos bag was
That's-
left out last night, and Libby's like, "Where's my combos?" I'm like, "Was it out last night? Did you leave it on the island?"
It's gone.
I don't
like,
think it's
yeah.
and they don't learn.
I know
They
why.
don't.
Why don't you ever like?
They don't.
Like it's the definition of insanity.
Right.
It just keeps happening over and over and over again. But that's my Aiden labeling everything. You can't even touch his laundry at home. Like
Oh, really?
oh my god! And he's a twin.
Like to
And,
wash it or to wear it?
both. Oh,
Well-
he won't let anyone know. There's a positive with that because he does his own
He does
laundry.
his laundry, yeah.
So, but he's like so OCD that
Okay.
he won't like if his clothes go in the washer or the dryer with anybody else's clothes. Which
Right.
when you have big families like this, like
Yeah.
I don't have 14 washer and dryers, guys.
know.
I mean, but he can't have his clothes combined with anybody else's.
It's a big family problem.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we could probably dedicate an entire episode to your laundry, but we're not even going to talk about your laundry situation. But
good
so
that I do our stories.
please tell us that you got a night out because
did.
this was your topic, right? Like this
Right.
was your thing. Like you wanted
Right.
to.
Originally, it was more like because I think we were talking about how being different from your having different personality styles as your husband was the original thing,
That was your
Yes.
top line item was the different
right?
parenting
And then the
styles.
damn night out part was he doesn't want to go out, and this was also during more COVID when we were talking about it. And Scott
right.
is such a homebody, and I'm so not, and I've just felt like I've been a home like my personality changed more in our family than his did when we got married and had kids and stuff, you know? And so I was just like, sometimes I'm just get so sick of like, I want him to go with me. I want to go out. I want to go out with the group. I want to do something fun.
Right,
and he's
right,
like,
right.
oh, let's just rent a movie. And I'm like, that is like, I want to get dressed
Blockbuster
up.
days
I
are
want to do
gone.
something
They're
fun.
over.
I mean, like on that thing.
I know. I was just kidding.
Especially after like
Being
you
home. I
had
wanna
so
leave the
many
house,
years
too, being
that
home.
you were tied to the house
Right.
because and I'm sure like years went by that you weren't sleeping.
Yeah. Oh.
Not getting dressed up, not putting makeup
Right.
on.
I would ask
not-
Scott. He'd go on like work events, and I would just be like, "Just tell me what the food was." I just didn't know what the food was because I had like hot dogs and macaroni and cheese with the kids tonight.
Right.
Because that's what
You're
we
like,
had.
was there a
you
little
know?
bit of sauce?
And he
between all
tells
the
me, I'm like,
steak,
oh, it's
fresh
so
ground
good.
pepper.
Because he did all those work events. I mean,
Right,
he was
right,
working, you know.
right.
So, and then that was also, once I had the twins, and then Libby was born 2 years later, I don't think I slept for like 4 years, like hardly at all. And I used to just, people would say like, well, what's your dream? I'm like, whatever.
sleep.
My dream is whatever, as long as I can sleep when I'm there. It can be a vacation. I don't care where. It doesn't matter.
How about the
It could be in
Holiday Inn?
Chernobyl.
How about the Holiday Inn down the street?
Well, and
Sounds
that's
like
essentially where I went last week. Because
hopefully alone,
I
and
did.
you got to sleep with like a bottle of wine and.
I had a king size bed to myself.
So
it was awesome.
nice. And no feet in your back.
No, well, we haven't let kids in our beds for lots of years. 'Cause
Oh.
I'm a crappy sleeper.
That's why she looks so nice.
Right, I'm telling you, we made it.
Nobody kicks the shit out of
Once
her all
you
night.
turn 3, we make a bed on the floor and you can sleep next to
Get
our
into
bed.
your nest. Out.
They know they come in with their pillows and their blankets.
I'm all for that. I
You know,
just need
me,
the feet.
Me too,
out
but
of-
I like how they actually like abide by that.
We made it a rule, yeah.
Because I've made that a rule in my bed too. But at 2 a.m. when somebody comes in, and I mean, still to this day,
Yeah.
Mine. I'll wake up and somebody's there.
still
My
to this
kids are
day,
too old to be doing that.
My youngest will still do it, but she doesn't do it to me. She does it to her little second mom over there. She goes in Faith's room and
wait,
sleeps on
that's
the floor.
so
It's so. I think
That
it's
is really
adorable.
cute.
It drives Faith crazy.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm
It
sure.
drives me mad if I have to wake up early the next morning.
Yeah.
I have to
That's
kick her
so
out.
Right,
exactly.
sweet.
It's the
oh,
sweetest
that's darling.
thing. Heidi does treat Faith like a mini mom. It's
Cute.
really cute.
I love
Yeah.
that relationship. But can we just also, and we forgot to add like a whole huge ingredient to this whole thing here.
What?
She also homeschooled all of her kids
Oh, yeah.
for a million years.
Yeah, that was
I mean,
fun.
really, would you just?
Hi.
I used to homeschool.
I did.
Not 8 children.
Well, I didn't do 8 at the same time, but yeah, I did for 16 years, and I really enjoyed it. And then I didn't enjoy it so
I
much.
enjoyed it until I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. And then we moved to Crystal Lake and a much better school district.
Mm-hmm.
And it took Scott kind of made the decision because I couldn't. I was burned out for
Scott
sure.
was like, I know her husband too from when we were younger, and Scott was homeschooled himself.
just for high school.
oh,
Yeah,
Okay, so
went
he
up
was a
through
big
8th
advocate
grade.
then because
He was an advocate, yeah. But it's like once I started doing it, I got really engaged, and I did all the research and it was just
it can be very fulfilling.
it was, and we were super academic, and we did one year where it was like a lot of when the kids were little, we did a lot of. There's so much now. It's exploded, especially because of COVID.
Well, COVID made it mainstream.
Right.
Now it's not.
Right now, you're not a weirdo. Yeah,
right.
I know.
Well, and when you started, Nikki, I mean, Brandon is how old? 20 what? Like,
Brandon's 27. Yeah, he was homeschooled.
so I mean, you didn't
forever.
even have like really the internet then. I mean, you were like,
Yeah.
you were using.
I didn't
books.
actually, right. I actually use books throughout because I think I would probably, if I pulled my kids out, we would do some online stuff. But I'm a very hands-on, like reading, touching, doing type person. I think kids learn better that way. And I do think there's a lot to say positive about the internet, but I've seen this year how much my kids were online. And they did not learn nearly as much. It's just being face to face with the teacher.
Even for you though, for your resources, I'm saying. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like you didn't have to
Right.
like order all your books to come in through this specific program. Like
No, or you
because of
ask
the
God
internet,
knew me
you-
'cause
exactly,
of homeschool,
exactly.
yeah.
You have like unlimited resources
Right.
now online.
Yeah.
and they also didn't have all the devices. So like, even if you are weeding out their lessons or whatever hands-on stuff.
Oh, now there's an
now
online
they're-
transcript program. I mean,
it's
it's so much
crazy.
easier. It's so much easier.
So you did it the hard way, man.
Yeah, I was a
you
little
like
hardcore there.
yeah. But so
I like
now
doing
that-
crazy things though. This is like I'm telling you, it's like there's always something a little bit.
She's ultra.
not
See?
mainstream
She's
that
ultra.
I'm
She's
doing.
ultra.
Ultra Nikki. And do you know what she said to me last night in a text or message or whatever? She goes, I'm a little nervous about doing this because I'm not that interesting.
I don't think so.
So she's modest too.
I mean, let's just keep adding on all these amazing characteristics to Nikki.
Yeah, let's talk more about me.
Okay. The beautiful teen daughters that don't see their own beauty. Are you guilty of that?
Yes.
She's like, who are you talking to? This is such an issue right now.
It really is.
Well, especially because looking at the old gross guys who are looking at our beautiful teen daughters.
Okay, when you wrote that, were you referring to online or in the actual world?
In the actual world.
Okay.
But for sure also
like
social
like getting
media.
catcalled and stuff, like out on the street?
She was just at a party. You should come in here for this topic.
Come your faith.
You got to tell this story. She like the other thing is they're super naive,
Is it a
so they
creeper
don't
story?
know it's happening when it's happening.
Welcome, Faith.
Hi, Faith.
So wait, what did you say? You
so
don't know what's happening.
So they don't
when-
know it's happening a lot because they're naive. They don't know it's happening when it's happening sometimes. Faith's pretty
Online or
aware.
In person.
in
in
person.
person.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like 50-50. Like 50% of people know what's going on, and then the other like type of people, they're just oblivious to all of it.
Yeah.
Normally I can catch on pretty quickly to what's going on and just kind of get out of the situation. But
Yeah.
To when somebody is trying to do exactly what, though?
know,
Just
just
give
when
you
dudes are being
attention that you don't
creepy.
want?
Yeah.
Creepy. Yeah, just like
I've had a couple situations where I've had to like literally get out because I was so uncomfortable.
Like at a party or something? Or
I mean, I went to a party recently with some of my friends, and the dude who owned the house, he like beelined for me. It was like a 60-year-old dude.
Was he like a parent of?
Yeah,
He was the uncle.
He was the uncle of the
Oh
kid
no, not
for
the creepy
birthday.
uncle. We don't do the creepy uncles. No.
but he was really interested in what she had to say and was getting super close.
He like got
Oh.
really close to me
her.
right away. Was
Oh,
like
no.
only looking at me, only talking to me, and I was like, okay, I gotta
Oh.
go. And even my friends were like, yeah, that was really, really weird of him.
But yeah, when they
And then-
walked out, they all like kind
Yeah.
of compared notes. And they were
then-
like, "Did you feel uncomfortable?" Yeah, I felt super uncomfortable.
Okay, I have to say one thing. What I love about I don't love this situation. What I love about this situation though is that you talk to your mom about it and that you guys have that dialogue because that doesn't happen all the time. I mean,
Yeah, you're right.
You know, I mean, girls
That's a
sometimes
blessing by
feel-
itself. If she had a situation with the red flags and whatever, that like, then, well, one, it sounds like you handled it with all the integrity, but then also that you know about it,
Right.
is good.
Right.
I think
Yeah, and I
that,
was able
like,
to say,
you're
no,
obviously
she's a good judge of character.
Yeah.
I trust your
That is
gut.
a good quality to have. Judge of character, social awareness. Like, you have to be aware of your surroundings as a teenage girl. You have to be
Yeah.
aware of your surroundings as a woman in
woman,
general.
and you need to trust
But-
your instinct.
Yes.
So many women like second guess. They're like they want to be nice.
Right.
You don't always have to be nice because
Absolutely
that will
not.
not always benefit
And
you.
we live in a culture right now of spread kindness, choose
Right.
kindness, da da da. And of course, right? But when you are feeling like compromised, like when you have that gut feeling, that is a real thing. That is not.
It's not
a lot of people don't
hallmark moment
trust
in
it.
which you should choose
No,
kindness.
and those are not situations where you're like, oh, but I'll feel bad if I hurt his feelings.
Right.
Absolutely not. You'll end up
So
raped
it's
or
literally
dead.
it's a physical
Good for
thing. It's
you
your
as a
body
young
is
woman
picking up clues
to
that you
already
don't.
be in
You're
touch with
consciously
that.
you're not
Exactly.
picking up, but subconsciously your body's picking it up and it's saying not a safe situation.
Yep.
You know, I mean, and so I think as especially women, you're taught to be nice, and so you're taught to kind of ignore those things, and you shouldn't. You need to. You
Absolutely
need to stay
not.
safe.
And the fact that you have that social awareness and that you were aware of it, because man,
okay, so what happened at this? Is there a
That
greater
was it.
story to
Well,
the?
it was like that, but then like later on in the night, he was like looking at me up and down like every time he walked past me.
gross.
creepy.
And then finally I was like,
God.
hey, and then we just like laughed.
Ugh.
Good,
And then,
I'm
like,
glad.
I mean, or even like I used to work at like a Dunkin' Donuts, and at one point I was doing something, and my coworker was helping someone else, and I turned around, and there was this like 50-year-old dude literally sitting with his arms crossed, just staring, eyes wide open at me.
my God.
And I turned around, looked at him, turned right back around, walked right to the back, and then I like told my coworker over the headset, I was like, hey, I'm gonna stay back here until he leaves.
Good.
And I guess my coworker was like, yeah, the second he walked into the building, he was staring at you the entire
Ugh.
time until you left.
Yeah.
I remember where we used to live. We, neighbors would do the driveway parties, you know, like in our 30s, and one of the neighbors had an older daughter, like Faith's age, who was real cute, and the neighbors would like joke about her, and I'm like, that is not okay. Like,
about her looks.
To you?
yes, to the group.
Oh, no, absolutely.
I know. I'm like,
That's
how are
gross.
you? That needs.
I'm glad you moved.
Ugh, I know.
Gross.
I'm just like, but I think a lot of guys, especially once they're drinking, do that.
I don't think I've ever had a neighbor or a friend make a comment like that about my daughter. Like,
I
Well,
have
none
not,
made it about my daughter.
I have not experienced that yet.
I mean,
It was weird.
I mean, of course, like
I don't know anyone that I think
she's
would really dare
beautiful
do-
or
Well, yeah,
whatever, but
yeah.
not something that like crosses the line
Across the
of
line.
the context of telling
inappropriateness.
someone that their daughter is beautiful is generally from a close person or a loved one or a trusted friend.
Right.
I wouldn't expect someone generic to.
Right.
MK and Rose had their first ever thing, like where they had to pay attention to how they felt because they wanted to go to the gas station alone. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they both walked, rode their bikes. They did both walk.
How old are they?
They are 16 and 14.
Okay.
But then they called and they're like, there's a creep. We don't feel comfortable. So the whole story was that while they were in the gas station getting whatever shitty snacks, some guy came in and they immediately noticed his eyes, whatever he was on. And they were
Right.
like,
Well, right, because
Something's
he's probably wearing a mask and the eyes are the only
And-
thing you can look at.
but I mean, they said that it was weird.
Did he have a
though.
beard? I don't know.
Well, right. Can you tell me what he looks like? He wore a mask.
Yeah,
like
right.
that's all I've got.
But they said his eyes were weird. Like he
Yeah,
looked like
he
he
was
was
on
drunk
like,
or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're both like, we're going to go to the bathroom. And it was more than just some weird eyes. Like he was
The
standing
gas
at
station bathroom?
the aisle that
I
they
would
were
run.
buying
Like,
their
let's go
crappy
home.
snacks in. He would like stand at the end of it and was watching.
yeah,
I mean, that's just
weird.
disgusting.
Especially with this weird human trafficking garbage
So
going on.
they went to the
See?
bathroom
It's
and
hard.
called us.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And
What'd you say? Running out?
no, they stayed in there until Brian picked them up.
Oh, good.
Again, I'm glad that they had that awareness and they just
That's
were clueless.
That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is
You
that
know?
it's nice to have a moment where you're like uncomfortable and then put a
Yes.
plan of action.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want anyone to experience that, but it's really great to have an experience like that when you're young. So then you can say, okay, this is how I felt. This is how I acted. Now I
Yeah.
know.
And
And
they
they know-
need to know that it's a reality.
And they know that if they call for help, help will come.
Right.
You know, without
Absolutely.
judgment or
Right.
anything like that.
Right.
Right. Right.
So
Well, yeah. So I'm sorry that
so good
happened
for
to
you, Faith. But
I told her, keep an eye out because it's going to
Yeah.
keep happening.
well, that's the
Especially
shit of it,
at that
is it's
age when
just
these
going
kids,
to happen.
like these kids are at parties and there's drinking and everything else, and you know, people aren't always in their right minds. So,
Right.
You know.
Yep.
Yeah. Especially nowadays. I mean, you just don't even know what you're
So,
taking anymore. Half the time, these kids are taking whatever they don't even know, right?
I thought you were like talking about yourself for a second.
I
The way you started that sentence.
oh
Like, well, when we're at those parties and we don't know what we're taking.
I'm
like,
just,
oh.
I'm no, not
No,
me.
I
I'm
know.
talking
Briggs is
about
very
like,
know.
boring. She doesn't.
I'm more fun than you think.
I'm not judging you.
I'm more fun than you think, Dodson. Anyways. Okay. So yeah.
Okay, do you have more to add in that regard? Is like online with that world for yourself?
I've actually had
or-
really no trouble with online stuff. Like
that's
no,
good.
like
creep,
no
But I think
creepers
that-
like trying to reach out to you on
But
social
I think
media
my
or anything?
13-year-old daughters are more social media than you are.
probably.
And we've had
My
a chat.
18-year-old, Olivia's not social media.
Faith is
either.
not. I mean, she does the Snapchat.
I'm like Snapchat, but
Snapchat,
everything
but
else
that's
is
it.
kinda
Because,
like, it's okay.
because that's how you communicate with your friends.
I don't know how that's possible.
I don't either.
And the funny, so she won't take a selfie with me. I should show you the picture that I tried to take with her on the way
Oh, so
here, and it's her
funny.
literally throwing a fit in the passenger seat.
But she's on camera with you now.
But yeah, she has.
See?
But she I'm like, she won't take a selfie, but she takes 700 pictures a day and sends them to people.
Right.
I'm like,
my daughter won't
she's
take
like,
a
it's
selfie
not
with
the
me
same.
either.
I'm like, come on.
It's different. I know. It's different.
We
I
can't
agree.
understand it though.
We're old.
Every now and then I'll get one.
I'll give her some every once in a while. We took a good
I don't-
picture at the race
yes.
last weekend.
Oh.
So it's not like I never
How
do
much are
it.
you expecting, Ultra?
Exactly.
What do you want, like a selfie a day?
Oh, y'all just cracking me up. One thing I was thinking about the kids was, I'm so glad they have phones. I mean, can you imagine? We had no phone. Like,
Okay, you are the first person that I've ever been like, I'm glad that they have phones.
I'm glad.
I hate those damn things.
Oh no, not
for
not
safety
for the
reasons.
data
Well,
and all
no.
that. But and you can turn that off if
Well,
you really
and I
want
did
to.
talk
But
to
I
the-
track all my kids too, and
So do I.
and I always have. And so also, how many parties did you go to where you didn't start at that party? You started somewhere else, and you ended wherever in high school, and there was no way to tell your
we
parents.
were probably in them
really
together.
I know. But you know,
I'm
there was
sleeping
no way
over
to
at
say-
Vicky and Nikki's tonight.
I'd be like, Mom, I can't call. Like your parent couldn't find you and call you. My mom could not call me. She had no idea where I was.
I loved that though.
It was great for us as children, but I'm so glad my kids
as
don't
the
have
parent,
that.
that's
It's amazing.
terrifying because I could have been like at some boy's house and been like, "Hey, Mom, I'm spending the night at Nikki's tonight.
Right.
We're gonna watch Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street,
Do you
and
really
we're just gonna
track
hang
all
out."
of them? Really? The same thing as her?
How do you track 8 kids? Oh,
I
you
don't,
have to track
because
the
my older
older
kids
ones.
are
Yeah.
old.
But you track all the girls?
Yeah. Well, no, I track Libby and Libby's,
So like you always know where she is?
I always know where Faith is. And do I or his dad? She erased me recently.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. They go on and they take the they
So-
talk
But
about Life
but
360.
it's no, we're on like the
on the
iPhone Finder.
iPhone.
But Scott has her, so mainly for Faith.
I have her
I don't like track her,
Yeah.
but I don't even check anymore. You've gotten so much older,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I like to know if she stayed out late that she's home.
Right.
So like not like in the ditch on the side of the road because she got in a car accident. Faith
Right.
likes to drive fast.
That's the biggest fear
That's
of
more.
a parent.
I'm not
is that
worried
you're
about.
in
I'm
a
not
ditch.
worried about Faith, but I can get a hold of her whenever I want to.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
the twins. I like to know that if they're going to go walk around downtown, I can make sure that they're not. You know, I don't know. I haven't really tracked anybody like worrying about where they're going to be. My kids have predominantly been good, and one of them I couldn't track. So
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's for the safety aspect. I like it.
I do too. I like it for the safety. I just wish that there was like
And it's a good
some
grounding.
sort of a boundary.
It's a good
like,
grounding.
Oh, it's the best grounding ever
situation.
to take the phone away.
It's the best carrot that you can
Ever.
dangle ever. I mean, I said
Yeah.
it multiple times this
Give
morning.
me your phone. Give me your phone.
Oh, my kids are bad at that. They don't hand over the phone.
Why not?
Well,
Where's
two
your
of-
follow through, Briggs?
Two of
It's
them
the-
would hand. No,
they
no,
start-
I have to turn it off on my end.
They start
They're not gonna be like-
negotiating.
Oh, I know.
They're not going to go like this. Two of them would.
I'm
but
like,
I have
put it here. The longer it takes you, the longer I keep it.
I know.
Every time it lands right there.
I need to learn from her a little bit more.
I know.
I let things slide too long, and then
Oh,
I
I don't
just get
ever let
madder
shit
and
slide.
madder, and which is so
Ever.
stupid because like I don't let it slide too far, but I mean I don't know, a little bit's too much.
I can't.
Sliding is so un-ultra.
I
No
can't
sliding.
I can't imagine like
I mean,
the amount
we're
of
going to judge
consistency
because
that you
she
have to
has 8.
That's what's
but
well,
we're going to
but
sit here
that
and
is
like,
one of the hardest things parenting wise is the
being
consistency.
consistent, but
at every age.
I could be
doesn't matter.
consistent like if I had a kid.
as
But like
in
when you
one,
You get distracted.
A
right.
kid is one.
Like you're like I emptied the dishwasher. 3 hours later, you realize, well, shit, they didn't empty the dishwasher,
Right.
and now they just went to a birthday party and won't be home.
Right.
so then you leave the dishes, right?
Oh yeah, I don't. I mean, only if I really wanted. Mostly I leave the
Okay,
dishes.
good. Me too.
I don't-
I will wait that shit out until I'm in
will.
my grave.
So I do sometimes, but there are other times when I have been in a situation where I'm like, okay, like we have people coming over
Yeah.
tonight and they're not going to be.
I don't care.
I'm going to do it, but then they owe me a chore.
Yeah.
They owe me
well,
something.
the owing
So
and redemption.
sometimes I just have to like, I have to be flexible because if you're just constantly rigid in a family that's that size, how do you even do anything besides constantly do that? It's exhausting.
I tried it last week. I tried to not clean up after my kids like a maid because I kind of tend to be that sometimes. I couldn't live in my own house. I'm like, okay,
The
so this
Cinderella
is not
factor
working.
is real. That's why you
Yeah.
have to choose your battles very carefully.
Right.
I know that it is my job to pick up empty boxes and containers. Duh. That's what I went to college for, was to pick
That's
up
why
other
you
people's
have-
recycling.
why we
Because the
have
garbage
degrees,
can
yeah.
is very hard to find. It tends to move and be invisible.
My favorite is the massive amount thrown right
Next to the
behind
garbage.
the trash
Right.
can.
Or next to the sink.
like,
I'm like,
oh,
really?
I'm like,
I don't
they're
even make my
so
kids put their
bad.
crap in the dishwasher.
Only
But
good
why
ones.
can't
So
you
you're
put the
the good
glass
kid.
in the
I
sink?
am.
You're the good
Faith
one.
likes to cook a lot though and not clean it.
Oh, that my daughter does the exact
Drives
same
me
thing.
batshit crazy.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I've been doing it recently.
She has been. And honestly,
We talk
she's
about that
my
with our
cleanest
oldest
kid.
daughters,
So,
too.
but it's like what happens is I'll blow all this
So you,
other
you
stuff will
brought
happen.
like your best sampling of children today?
Yeah.
Yeah, she sounds amazing.
She's amazing.
She's
Thank you.
intuitive,
Thank you.
responsible, drives you. I mean,
She's good.
Well done.
She got a little crappy when she turned 18, but now that was almost a
She
year
was
ago.
just offended that I turned off my location.
I know. See,
but she became a grown-up.
She was living in my house.
Because it's Olivia. I'm 18 now. I'm 18.
That's exactly how Faith
I'm
was.
18. I'm 18.
It's
I'm 18. I'm like,
but like I still won't make my own doctor's appointment.
so I made
So I'll
Olivia
turn my
start
location
making her
back
own
on.
doctors. I'm like, when she comes to me, because I can only hear I'm 18 so many times in my life. So then when she comes at me like,
She'll
I
be
like
like,
this doctor's
soon.
You're
appointment
18.
or whatever, then I'm like, but
You're 18.
Right.
Like, you go make
can
that
go
doctor's
be 18.
appointment.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where we're gonna end it, is like the 18-year-olds. I'm 18. But you have, if you're gonna come at me with that, then
Right.
you need to know what comes with that territory.
Right. There's a lot more adult responsibilities
Right.
that you are going to be picking up.
And I think that we have finally, decided that, okay, then you go explore that adulthood.
It's hard. It's hard as a parent, though, isn't it? I mean, I know we have a lot in common with like tough love. It's.
Yeah.
I learned what tough love meant. It doesn't mean you have to be tough. It means it hurts.
Oh my God, it hurts.
It hurts. Yeah.
It's not just like emotional pain.
No.
Like I actually feel physical pain
Yeah,
in
me
certain
too.
situations with that.
Yeah.
But that's my style though, and
But
damn
it
it, we didn't
works.
go so hard into the parenting styles, which I wish we did, because that is such a huge thing. But I had to go really hard with the tough
Yeah,
love
so did I, and
sometimes.
it was hard, and it's and I think you are coming on the other side of it. I think no, I don't know.
With who? Which one? I don't know.
But my harsh
yes.
one.
No,
is,
my harsh
is,
one. I am coming out on the other side.
Right,
now.
like
Yes,
the, like
absolutely. Yes.
my introduction to it is
Yeah.
at least I'm not at my lowest level.
Those are things that
Isn't that nice to look back on, though? And
It
be like,
is.
so glad I dragged myself
We-
out of that valley.
honestly, my husband and I say to each other, I mean, we're like, oh, he's home. It just makes the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 2020 sucked. But
For sure.
But Ben came back. So, 2020 was a win.
I'm telling you.
Oh, good.
those-
now we can go into our wins.
Oh, our wins.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
See how
So
that segue?
I know. I mean,
We
do
are
the
either
WTF,
tangent or segue.
and then
There's like no in between. No. Yeah. Tangent or
And
segue.
then
I'm really
win.
good with scroll-ons, too.
because we do a lot of sitting here and like just bitching and general
Sure.
like mothering catharsis. So
Yeah.
we've tried to always make sure that there's a win at the end of each show, even if we spend the whole thing bitching. So
we try to
there
end
is
our
always a win.
cheers
There's always
with a positive or a win.
Oh, yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
go.
Because why? Why are we gonna,
Go Briggs, go. I know. We didn't write any wins down today.
My win is
but-
that I got to see my friend Nikki that has 8 kids, and I don't ever get to see
So
her.
excited I got to see her,
except
too.
on Facebook or
I know.
Instagram, and like she was one of my greatest friends when we were little
Yay!
kids.
Nikki Day.
Just call me Ultra.
So I'm my win is that you came here today, that I got to meet your daughter, and that you shared all this stuff with us, because man, this gig is not easy.
No.
And it's so like refreshing to see somebody, like when you picture, like if like let's say we don't know you, and we're picturing, like Jen didn't know you before today, and I could just imagine, like, I'm like, my friend Nikki, she has 8 kids, she homeschooled everybody. I mean, were you thinking of like some like frumpy, like
Yeah, it's-
old looking
No,
mom?
I was not. No, I would have been a little pissed off at you if you were like, well, here's this.
But in Corey's defense, people say
washed up
all the
woman,
time,
huh?
I would think like
I mean, she's
think,
more
she
beautiful
just-
than I had expected.
Absolutely,
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm saying, like, I
feel amazing.
I just think
This is like the highlight. This is my win.
I just think that when you throw out all those.
The expectation is
Yes.
different.
yeah, but good for
but
you.
it's not.
For like,
But I
You
think-
cannot possibly run ultra marathons and look amazing and all this after you put your body through 1,000,000 years of childbirth
Yes, you can.
and child
Sleep.
breastfeeding and everything. This
She's
is
right
like
there.
an inspiration to anybody
that's
out
the
there
thing,
that
too.
wants 8 kids, and I don't know anybody that wants 8 kids.
Well, and that is, if I ever come back on the podcast, I would love to tell you how we got to 8 story, because it's very different. It's not what you would expect. Like accidental pregnancy, which is what I would have expected, but that's not what it was.
Oh,
8 is great.
I would love to hear that story. That
Eight
is
is
the
great.
win here because, okay, 8.
You guys have 8, and you guys
we have
have
8. Okay, so 8 is great.
Sweet 16.
Oh, I know. The sweet 16 and 8 is great. Look at you. Just
What, with the cheesiness?
yes.
Well, and the positivity.
and the positivity.
Very
This is my
positive.
Mary Poppins. She knows
Yes,
that
nice.
I'm Miss Hannigan, and she's Mary Poppins.
Well,
right?
fine. We'll take it. That'll be my win, is that I can Mary Poppins my way through shit.
That's
and
right.
that we've got a second special guest today. That was
Yeah.
really cool of you to step
We've
in
been
here.
trying. We've
So
been
thank
talking
you.
about bringing
'Cause
our own
kids
daughters
won't, 'cause
on here to talk, and
MK's
they
like,
won't.
I'm not gonna sit on that cringy ass
No,
shit with you.
no,
Oh.
not at all. So we are so proud of you for doing that.
And for
Thank you
not
for letting
calling
me
us
come on. It was
cringy.
fun.
It was fun.
yeah,
It was a new experience.
So give her a
Exactly.
water to raise, and we'll just close it out with the ultra.
Cheers.
Give me your water.